Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Back again from my trip to Nashville and what was an entertaining one, to say the least. It was a fun time.
Everything was going all right. I was running out of time. 'Cause you had one foot out the door.
All until the reason I went there. Let's get into it. I'm Gaming Jag. This is the Week 18 recap. Now, I first want to talk about my time in Nashville. I had a great time. The city is amazing. It was my first time there. But the food was great. The people were nice. Had some really cool interactions with some of the Ubers that we met. But one of the big things I think that kind of happened that was cool for me and my brother was we took a picture. We may or may not have been flicking off Nissan Stadium where the Titans play, and it got a little bit of traction on Jaguars Twitter. So that was cool. I mean, that was definitely the coolest thing for us surrounding the Jaguars that weekend.
No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off.
So I thought that was kind of like a neat little thing that happened between Jaguar fans and us, as we were making our first trip to an away game, actually. So it was a very surreal kind of thing to be at a football game and you're the away team. Never happened for us before, so could have been under better circumstances. You know, the first thing that I heard from a Titans fan when I walked into the stadium was, I hope Prince Charming plays today. And I wanted to say, I hope Derrick Henry greases up his rusty knees today. Yeah, so that's how those results. I'm glad I didn't say that because it would have really bit me in the butt later. But it was a great trip. Results just didn't go our way. And sometimes that happens. It's hard not to be really bitter about it because of the way that the Jags started 8-3, slide all the way down, and you go 9-8. I mean, it just seems like it's not real. But there's a lot swirling with the Jags right now. There's a lot of interior things going on, and I'm gonna try and break a little bit of that down. Some of the rumblings that's happening on Twitter. Gonna crack that can of worms open. But first, let's talk about this game. So I'm just gonna go over a couple of these game stats for you guys. Trevor Lawrence was 29 of 43 for 280 yards. He averaged 6.5 yards a throw, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 41.9. Just not good. Whenever we throw the ball 49 times, generally you would assume that it's not going to be a good day because there's just no running game. Travis Etienne had 16 carries for 57 yards, averaged 3.6 yards per carry, with a long of 12 yards. Tank Bigsby followed with 3 carries for 16 yards, and he averaged 5.3 yards a carry. Not bad. And then our receiving core, Calvin Ridley was 6 receptions for 106 yards. He had one really great reception that we actually saw crystal clear from our seats, which was really cool. But he averaged 17.7 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. He had 10 targets, long of 59. Evan Ingram was behind him with 10 receptions for 79 yards, 7.9 per catch, 1 touchdown on a long of 17. With his last, what would have been catch was an overthrow, which was really unfortunate. Jags with those 2 turnovers on downs, really playing the opposite of playoff football. Now, where we really lost the game was against Derrick Henry. He had 19 carries for 153 yards with an average of 8.1. It's like that when you play the Titans and that's his stat line, generally they win the game. And he had a touchdown, a long of 69. Tajay Spears was behind him with 3 carries for 25 yards, 8.3 average, 1 touchdown, and a long of 22, which was the scoring play. Where it seemed like nobody could tackle. It was just a really rough day. It seemed like defense just, came out flat, besides, a sack or 2 and that interception. It was just really bad. Stat-wise, the Titans dominated, and that was really the story of that game. It seemed like they wanted to knock us out of the playoffs more than we wanted to be in the playoffs. And Luke Fortner, I mean, if there's a stat on there for him, I could probably throw one up for y'all. Like, the run game just cannot operate through that guy. So he's he needs to go somewhere. Whether that's 3rd spot on the depth chart at center or just off the team altogether. I don't know. The guy is a liability at center. Never seen a center drop off so hard in his 2nd season, but here we are. And the run game really operates through the center and the aggressiveness of the center, and he's absolute bottom in the league at what centers do. So we played bad football and we got the result of bad football. And I made this point earlier to some friends. I don't know if people generally understand how important it is for a run game to be that flow for an offense in the game. And when your center is getting week in and week out whooped, seems like every D tackle thrown up against this guy, he's either slamming his heels in the ground, staying put, or he's getting thrown back 5 yards. It's ruins the flow of your offense. And that's where I kind of like say, maybe press isn't such a huge problem for the offense. Now, if Trevor Lawrence isn't vibing with the OC, that's one thing, but this offense would have operated at least at a manageable level if you were not getting absolutely bullwhipped in the middle of the O-line. It ruins the entire flow of your offense. If you're getting to the point where your offense leads the league in 1-yard runs, that's something to be said about just how bad the run blocking is. I mean, we were behind the Jets O-line, which the Jets O-line and run blocking. What does that say? It says that we couldn't even run the ball better than the Jets in that stagnant offense that virtually had no passing game. I mean, how wild is that? There's no debate on why we didn't make the playoffs because of that stat alone. Like, we were ahead of the Jets in 1-yard runs. That's crazy. I mean, that if that's not an indictment on Luke Fortner and his run blocking ability, then I don't know what is, because that's just terrible. You're not a playoff team if that stat is floating around for your offense. You're just not. So looking at the offseason, that has to be a major acquisition that they're looking for as a center. And you could even flip it on the defensive side. You need a big space eater on the defensive side too, because there's nobody throwing their body around into those gaps. It seemed like late in the season, and the Jags paid the price for it for that entire slide of December, and then even last game of the year. It just, was very apparent, and the Jags are not a playoff team and not a divisional winner because of that. But I know December sucked. The last game of the year sucked. What do we do now except look forward? And there's stuff going on inside the building. Before I even got home, Dave Caldwell, what's his name? Caldwell something, Mike Caldwell. Yeah. He got fired. Our DC got fired. And December, I mean, that was so bad. December was so bad. I don't understand how collectively as a team they just, ever since Cincinnati, it just was absolute, just a cascade down. It was so bad. I mean, the firing him was like, I don't know. I kind of felt a little numb to it, to tell you the truth, because it's like they played terribly for the better part of like the last portion of the season, but it wasn't like the main factor at times. At times it looked like the defense was the only like competent group on the field. So it was like a mixed feeling for me. But the broken coverages and linebackers like running through the wrong gap to try and make the tackle and stuff like that, like it just can't happen. I don't know, maybe you need just a D coordinator that's just really experienced. We tried to go after the Panthers D coordinator, and that stupid owner blocked them from, I can't stand the Panthers owner. We have to deal with CJ Stroud in our division now because of that Panthers owner and his incompetence. But that's another time to complain about that. There's inner things going on with the Jags right now, and apparently Balky wants to get rid of Press Taylor. Shad Khan wants, the head coach to go back to calling plays, which seemed like there was a little bit better of a flow back then. Granted, I don't know if in run blocking a year ago that Luke Fortner was getting bullwhipped like he is now. But yeah, it seems like a mess, really. Balky doesn't have a good track record with head coaches. He just doesn't. Like, you look back at it and it's not good. Granted, we're better than we've been in a pretty long time, but it's really frustrating when you have anticipation and things going into this year, and at the front part of the year, like, we're golden. We're 8-3. For a few hours, we were number 1 seed in the AFC, and that was the best it got, and it went way down from there. So yeah, the Jags, there's stuff going on inside the building. That's one thing for sure. I mean, I guess Balky wants to blow it up. I don't know. I mean, there's rumblings from Trevor camp that they're not happy with some of the roster decisions and things like that led into this year. I don't know, man. It's kind of a dark place to be in. You don't want to like blow this team up too much. You don't, like, if they lose the locker room this year from like some of the things they do in the offseason, like, and this ain't gonna be our division for a long time. And I hope it doesn't get to that. Like, I hope these guys still are like, you know, foundationally here, locked in, heels 10 toes down. But if you lose Josh Allen, I think you lose the locker room. So that's just my opinion. A lot going on. Jags are in a search for defensive coordinator. If Press stays and we get a new center and maybe a left guard, somebody like that, you just gotta fix that interior. You don't even really get a real chance to see like what Press can do with this offense. If it's just it's like a bad link in the chain. Like, it's so bad. You see it over and over again, week after week, just how bad the interior of the offensive line is. But if Trevor wants Press to go, I want Press to go too, because I'll take Trevor over Press any day of the week. That's just my opinion, my take. But just know, inside the Jags building, circus going on. Circus is happening. All right, so in review, we have Nissan Stadium. Nashville's cool. Nissan Stadium looks like you crack open a time capsule into like 2005 and you walk into a stadium, and that's Nissan Stadium. Pretty much. Like, it's dated. You know, they have that new stadium going up, deal plan thing, whatever. Should be cool. Maybe I'll make a future trip out there when that thing's built. Should be fun. But that stadium's dated. It's old. It sucks. Luke Fortner also sucks. Not gonna say anything else about him. D coordinator fired. Defensive staff mostly fired. 95% fired. Trent Baalke wants Press Taylor gone. Doug Peterson wants Press Taylor in. Trevor's kind of less than fond of Press Taylor. I guess that's what rumors say. It's not my official take on it, but that's what rumors are saying. Looking forward to the draft and what happens in free agency. Hopefully we re-sign Josh Allen. I'm gonna make videos here and there covering what's going on with this stuff happening around the Jags, but go ahead and follow me on X at The Gaming Jag. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I bust it out every week. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this Jags team right now. I mean, it can be an air of grievances in the comments. That's fine with me. But if you like this sort of content, subscribe. You know, show me some love. I'll show you some love too. I'm Gaming Jaguar. And that's it. Don't let the Jags get you down, man. It's so easy to let the Jags get you down. Don't let them do it to you. Gaming Jaguar out.